Sword jab.
Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
Fear not, we shall remove you from your icy tomb. That is like packed the out in styrofoam, isn't it? That's starting to look like something. Let's keep going. There we go. Seems to be out of the package now. One bag removed. Why, this package from China seems to contain a Chinese sword. Who would have known? Probably me. I ordered it. Out of the package. Yeah. Bet y'all didn't think it was a Jian. It is. Kind of interesting that the blade is almost like a Viking sword in shape. Much thinner. It's only about, what, an inch or so here. But it has double fullers instead of the single fuller. Has a Mokugi pin, strangely, as there's none on the other side. Odd. One thing I did notice was this weird construction of the guard, that the guard seems to be one piece, and there's this plate here that sits below what on a Japanese sword would be a habaki. Listen, folks, time for more in-depth. This scabbard is pretty hefty. It's not the wood. The wood's nice color. Darker than I expected, nice. But it's the fact we've got metal, 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 and metal. As far as the sword itself, another close up with the hilt, and the fact that it has kind of a little bit of almost nagel here. Can do the thumb up, I guess, for that. I found that trying to choke up the grip all the way on it is a little uncomfortable, as this here and this here kind of digging in my thumb and finger. And this part of the guard is a little bit diggy, but with a glove I think it'd be okay, or more of a, slightly thumb to the side grip or whatever. I'll experiment with it, but I think gripping here rather than fully choked up, which is really not much difference about here to here, is where you'd grip it. And this metal cap at the end has a lot of traction, but it doesn't seem to be sharp. I don't feel any bites there. Maybe a little, see in test cutting if that makes a difference. One peg doesn't come out the other side, interestingly. Pretty solid. There's a little bit of rattle in there, not much, but it is a less stiff than a katana blade. It's more like a European blade.
Oh, you can't flex your sword, then you can't flex anything. This year's my
but
year.
I like double-edged swords better anyway. So this year I found this on eBay. It was about $100 with shipping. I ordered it, and it has arrived from China in a little over a week, even though they told me it wouldn't be here until sometime after next week at the earliest. Cool. So to compare this to something, let's start with the dollar katana. Now, 1045 steel, so beginner stuff, but the hilt has real ray skin, cotton wrap. It's not bad. It feels decent in the hand. And now comparing these two, and this one, I would say honestly feels much like a typical katana. It's got point of balance out here. And the weight and feel of it, it feels just like most katana. I mean, comparing those two, we have Suba to Nagel area. About the same, a little bit longer in this hilt. The blades are, if I can get that in camera, I cannot. Let's do it sideways. Roughly the same length, right? Okay, yeah, a little bit longer. No, back to that. There we go. Yeah, about the same. Okay. It's very difficult. I didn't plan this out very well. So essentially this is in katana range and moves and feels much like a katana in the hand, where you're but the major difference is we don't have the curve, so it moves a little differently when you reposition. But since I'm not a Chinese or Japanese swordsman, I don't know, but it feels similar. But it's oh, that's my door. I'm sitting in my closet, but it kind of maneuvers a lot like a katana, but it's essentially like Tang. Tang were, as many people theorize, the predecessor to the katana from China. Has a straight blade, tanto-like point, rather than having a swooping tip. Now, comparing to my better katana, which is still not a spectacular katana by katana standards, but it had this lovely red scabbard. Also with real ray skin, it does have a bit of hourglassing to the handle, cotton wrap, Musashi style garden steel. I'm a minimalist in decoration, so I like the minimal bars too. Yeah, definitely can tell this is a little lighter, and that's what's expected, but certainly not so much so that you're like, oh, this does feel good in the hand. I think. I don't know what I said. Balance point wasn't this one. I don't know if I should. About right there. So that's what, maybe 5.5, 6 inches out, maybe. Bring it to my Jikdo, the minimal Suba in this nice fancy. This one is also 1045, and it has a decent amount of distal taper, but minimal hilt stuff. So this feels a lot lighter than this, but in terms of swinging, it's not as big a difference as it feels when you're just moving it slow. This feels a lot lighter, slower, but when swinging, it still has a bit of bite to it because its point of balance is, from lack of hilt, well, about there, right about there. So this one I'm liking so far. Now, as far as the edge, it is sharp, but not super sharp, kind of chisely sharp. So I'll probably touch that up. It does have a secondary bevel. I don't know if we can apple seed that a bit out, and instead of having go, it'll go, more. I don't know what they advertise that as. That's about a hand width out on balance point. So yeah, really not bad for what I think it is. I don't know, 28-inch blade, which would be a little short for a bastard sword, but the handle is a little over 12 inches. I don't think it's 13, but about 12. So we can certainly, move that. So overall, I will give this a pass on initial inspection, and we'll go from there. Hilson, and good day, folks.